Hi everyone, my name's Donna. I'm the owner here at Bookkeeping Made Simple. I apologize if I'm a little flustered today. Today is the deadline for partnership and S Corp and C Corp returns. So we've got a little bit of work left to do, but I wanted to make sure to start getting videos out like I keep saying I'm going to do. Eventually I'm going to get this really dialed in. This is part of bookkeeping and this is part of business ownership. It's part of processes and procedures, which is what we're going to talk about today. So we have been talking about the pain of legal compliance. We've talked about just some things you can start to look for to improve profitability in your business. This is a topic I'm going to come back to many times. And today we're going to talk about business processes. Business processes are critical to growing a really successful business. You really only have so much time in a week or in a day. I really work hard and I work a lot of hours. And if I was just depending on myself, I couldn't get all the work done that I needed to get done, period, full stop. There's just no discussing that. But this is part of our CFO service and consulting services. This is not included in our business or bookkeeping and accounting or tax packages, but this is much more advanced work that we like to do. This is also why I got an MBA rather than completing a CPA, is because I'm really interested in the processes, the procedures, and how to truly help small businesses. And I'm not seeing a lot of CPAs do much more than compliance work, to be honest, compliance and tax, and that's it. So putting processes and procedures in place allows you to be more efficient with your time. That means that you are focusing your time on the things that move your business forward. It allows you to do more in less time, and it allows you to have a training program for new hires where you actually know ahead of time what you're going to teach them, what you're going to train them on, what processes you want them to follow, everything from where do I clock in to what are the expectations we have here, to how do we do things? And every business is a little bit different. Even if you're an electrical contractor and you hire an electrical journeyman, you expect them to know how to do wiring, right? But you want to make sure that they know how to turn in timesheets so you can get paid. You want to make sure they know how do you leave your job site? What processes, when they need more materials, what do they do? Do they just dash over to Home Depot and buy some? Or is there a process in place for that? And having these processes in place can really make the difference in your business. It's something that I am working on about my business almost every day, because I feel it's so critical. I can see where things are starting to break down sometimes, and I go back in and I start looking at what I can improve. Where are the breakdowns in the processes? Have I mistrained someone? By the way, I am one of those bosses. The buck stops with me. If one of my people didn't do a job right, I know the problem is with me. I didn't train them properly. Wasn't clear in my expectations somehow. So I want to have processes and procedures in place so that I don't have those problems. And it's everything from, like I said, when you run out of supplies for your job, what do you do next? Do you call the boss? Do you just have an employee credit card? Do you dash over to Home Depot every 30 minutes? There should be processes for this. Even in jobs where you think that incoming hires are going to already know how to do the job, there still needs to be processes and procedures to streamline things. It is very easy, by the way, to get caught up in busy work that really doesn't do anything to move your business forward, but that does help you to, it fills time. I have left, there is an actual law, and I haven't looked at the name of it, but it says work expands to fill the time allotted. So if you give someone an hour to check their email, They'll spend an hour checking their email, even if they have 2 email messages. They'll spend an hour crafting the perfect email. But if you say, you have 15, I need you to do this and it should be done in 15 minutes because we have other things to do, they'll get it done. It's just really kind of funny how that works. And I have noticed that many, many times. I've had people say that they don't see that in their own lives, and then I watch them and I go, oh, yes, yes, I see it in your life. You're doing exactly the same thing that I've been doing and you just don't want to admit it. So the purpose of streamlining your processes, again, is to kind of take the chaos out of the business. You can focus on what moves your business forward. You can focus on what helps you grow your business, what helps with the administrative side of things, what helps with the customer service experience. I always assume everybody is customer facing. It helps with internal and external communications issues. If someone is stuck, who do they call for help? Do you have a Slack channel? We bring Central, so we use that. And we do have a channel open, but I haven't trained any of my employees on just posting their questions and allowing everybody to kind of chime in. Do you even want people to do that? What about, this covers everything from ethics, social media posts. What are your processes? How do you do things and how do you want them done? So by way of example, I have a hiring process. I have a process specific for hiring. And that means I already have the job posts written. I know exactly who I want. I know what kind of skills they should have. I know what their job duties will require. I'm kind of going back and forth between leaving our home offices and actually having an office and creating a hybrid work model and just remaining remote. I've been remote for about 20 years now, but the reasons for me being remote have moved out. So, I already know what websites I'm going to post these to, how long I'm going to have them open, what kind of person I'm looking for, what questions I'm going to ask in the interview process, how I want those questions answered, and really what kind, I really write it for the perfect person. Okay, and I have several different positions that I'm going to be hiring for. So I have job descriptions for each position that I've already written. I don't have to redo this. I don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. And then this helps me stay on task. And then when I hire someone, I have a hiring process for that. When I onboard a new employee, what software do I set them up on? What kind of communication do I expect? I spend some time with them. These are the processes. This is how you work QuickBooks. There's a lot of things that I do to try to help bring them up to speed so that every time someone comes in, they are doing things the way I would do them. They're not going to be perfect little replicas of me because everybody has a different style, but we're going to be doing things so that it's pretty standardized so that when the client looks at their books or when another bookkeeper comes in and looks at the books, they're not completely bewildered. Okay, it should be fairly straightforward. So if you're ready to start working on processes and procedures, there's a few things that you need to start doing. Step one is to define your goals. Is it to hire the best person? Is it to, what is it customer service oriented? What are your goals in this process? And how will you know if it's successful? That's something people don't think about a lot. They just say, well, I kind of want this process, and then things fall apart and they don't go back to this. How will you know if this process is successful? If I go back to my hiring process, I will know if it's successful if I can onboard someone, spend a certain amount of time training them, and if they start doing their work without a ton of input from me. Some is fine. I've always said I'm happy for my bookkeepers to annoy me. That's my job, is to be annoyed by my bookkeeper. No, I really love my staff. They're great. But they should be following certain procedures, and I should be able to follow and check up on them and make sure that they're following the procedures that I laid out. So how will I know if I'm successful in my hiring process? I'll be able to get people onboarded, and they will be able to start working quickly, and they will be able to do things the way I've asked them to do it. Plan and map your process. Step 2. What strategies are you going to use? There is a lot of software out there that can help you with that. There's a lot of, I am very tech oriented. In fact, my original major in college was computer science, so I'm very tech oriented. So I am anxious to help really get everything in a tech type of environment so that it's easy for me to use. So I'm looking to, I often do most of my planning on paper, honestly. Again, I'm very tech friendly. Everything I like, have everything in the cloud where I can get to it. But my planning, my thinking about my processes, for some reason, I do better either on paper or on a whiteboard where I can physically write it out, and I can start to see what I'm looking for. You know, how is this going to work? What steps do I need to follow? Then I can, step 3, set actions, and I can start assigning team members. In a very small business, the team member might be you. Okay. On a larger business, you know, if you have a hiring process and you're Chevron, HR is going to be working on that. You know, so it's going to depend on the size of your business, which team members get assigned to it. It could be, you know, maybe I decide to hire an administrative assistant, and I want her to start doing the hiring. Or him. But I start setting the actions, and I start working with my team members to see who's the best fit for this, among other things. And then number 4 is to test the process. None of these should be written in stone. I think people have a lot of paralysis by analysis. And so they start doing this work, and it's got to be perfect, right? No, it doesn't. It has to accomplish a goal. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have the perfect process. Nobody does. It just has to accomplish a goal. And if you keep that in mind, you will be, you know, a little bit ahead in your thinking. You can change it later. You can make adjustments. You can go back and say, well, that didn't work the way I wanted it to. What do I need to change? Okay, what do I need to adjust? There's some tweaking going on here. Then you implement the process. And again, it's still part of the testing phase. As far as I'm concerned, testing the process is an ongoing thing. We want to make sure it works and that it's working. If it works for one department, does it work for all of the departments? If not, we need to go back and change things. And then the last step, you want to monitor the results. And that's why I say the testing phase is all the way through. You monitor the results. If you're not getting the results that you wanted, you go back and you start working on that again to see what you need to do to get the results you wanted. It's all about the results. If you're not sure what changes you need to make in your business, if you do know that you're spinning your wheels and you don't know what to do differently, if you have staff that are not as well trained as you would like, and you don't know what to do to get everybody on board, give us a call. Our number is 801-692-0032. I am looking forward to hearing from you. It is, by the way, just absolutely critical that you follow these steps, but we would be happy to help take a look at your business with some fresh eyes and see what needs to be adjusted. So thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you again very soon.